The rain hammered against the windows of our Chicago apartment, mirroring the tempest brewing inside me. For 15 years, our lives, Willow's and mine, had been a carefully constructed tapestry of shared dreams, quiet evenings, and the comforting rhythm of routine. I, Osvaldo, a software architect, had always prided myself on being a rational man, a problem solver. But nothing could have prepared me for the problem that was about to unravel my world. It started subtly, almost imperceptibly. Willow, a vibrant artist, began spending more time at her studio, claiming an influx of commissions. Late nights, hurried phone calls, a distracted air, all easily dismissed as the pressures of a thriving career. I wanted to believe her. I needed to believe her. Our anniversary was approaching, and I had planned a surprise trip to Italy, a celebration of our enduring love. One evening, while Willow was supposedly at a gallery opening, I decided to surprise her with a clean apartment. As I gathered her discarded clothes from the bedroom floor, my hand brushed against her purse. It was slightly ajar, and a corner of a receipt peeked out. Curiosity, that insidious serpent, coiled within me. I told myself it was harmless, just a quick glance. But as I unfolded the receipt, the blood drained from my face. It was from a small, intimate restaurant in the Gold Coast neighborhood, a place Willow and I had frequented in our early years. The date was that very evening. The time coincided with her supposed gallery opening, and the amount, it was clearly a dinner for two. My mind raced, trying to find a logical explanation. A business dinner, a friend. But the gnawing feeling in my gut wouldn't subside. I called her studio. No answer. I called her friend Ileana, who I knew was attending the same gallery opening. Willow. No, I haven't seen her tonight, Ileana said, her voice laced with a hint of hesitation that I couldn't ignore. I thought she was meeting you for dinner. The pieces began to fall into place, each one a shard of glass piercing my heart. I grabbed my coat and headed out into the rain, driven by a desperate need to confront the truth, whatever it might be. The restaurant was only a short drive away. As I parked across the street, I scanned the tables through the rain-streaked windows. And then I saw her. Willow was sitting across from a man I didn't recognize. He was leaning in close, his hand resting on hers. They were laughing, their faces illuminated by the candlelight. It wasn't a business dinner. It wasn't a friendly gathering. It was something far more intimate, far more devastating. I stood there, paralyzed, the rain blurring my vision. My world, so carefully constructed, was crumbling before my eyes. I couldn't bring myself to walk in, to confront them, to witness the betrayal firsthand. I turned and fled, the image of Willow's smiling face seared into my memory. Back at the apartment, I paced restlessly, the receipt clutched in my hand. The anger, the hurt, the disbelief, they all swirled within me, threatening to consume me. I needed to know more. I needed to understand how this could have happened. The next morning, after a sleepless night, I decided to hire a private investigator. I found one online, a woman named Scene who seemed professional and discreet. I met her at a coffee shop downtown, pouring out my story, my voice trembling with emotion. Scene listened patiently, her expression unwavering. She assured me she would get to the bottom of it. Days turned into weeks. Scene provided regular updates, each one a further twist of the knife. The man Willow was seeing was named Leopold, a successful architect who had recently moved to Chicago from New York. They had met at an art exhibition several months ago and had been seeing each other regularly ever since. Scene provided photos, dates, times, irrefutable evidence of their affair. The photos were the worst. Images of Willow and Leopold holding hands, kissing, entering his apartment. Each one a stark reminder of her betrayal, of my own naivete. I had been so blind, so trusting. How could I have missed the signs? One evening, Scene called with a new development. Leopold isn't who he seems, she said, her voice grave. He has a history of affairs. He targets married women, seduces them, and then moves on. He's a predator, Osvaldo. Her words hit me like a punch to the gut. Willow wasn't just having an affair. She was being manipulated, taken advantage of. A surge of anger coursed through me, not just at Willow, but at Leopold, the man who had preyed on her vulnerability. I confronted Willow that night. I laid out the evidence, the receipts, the photos, Scene's report. She denied it at first, her eyes wide with feigned innocence. But as I pressed her, her facade crumbled. Tears streamed down her face as she confessed everything. "I'm so sorry, Osvaldo," she sobbed. It just happened. I didn't mean for it to go this far. He made me feel alive again, like I was young and desirable. Her words offered no comfort, no solace. They were just excuses, justifications for her betrayal. "Did you think about me, Willow?" I asked, my voice trembling with rage. "Did you think about what this would do to our marriage, to our lives?" She had no answer. The silence hung heavy in the air, filled with the weight of our shattered dreams. I told her to leave. I couldn't bear to look at her, to be in the same room with her. The divorce was swift and brutal. We divided our assets, our lives irrevocably split. I moved out of our apartment, finding a small, sterile condo downtown. The city, once vibrant and full of life, now seemed cold and indifferent. I threw myself into my work, burying myself in code, trying to numb the pain. But the memories kept resurfacing, haunting my dreams, poisoning my waking hours. I couldn't escape the image of Willow and Leopold, their faces etched in my mind. One day I received a call from Scene. "I have some information about Leopold that you might find interesting," she said. "He's been embezzling money from his firm. I have proof." My mind raced. Leopold was not only a serial adulterer but a criminal. A plan began to form in my mind, a way to exact justice, not just for myself, but for all the women he had hurt. I met with Scene, and she provided me with the evidence she had gathered. It was damning. Leopold had been siphoning funds from his company for months, using the money to finance his lavish lifestyle, his affairs. I took the evidence to the authorities. Leopold was arrested and charged with embezzlement. His career was ruined, his reputation shattered. He faced years in prison. I didn't feel any satisfaction, any sense of closure. Leopold's downfall didn't erase the pain of Willow's betrayal. It didn't bring back the years we had lost, but it did offer a small measure of justice, a reminder that actions have consequences. Months later, I received a letter from Willow. She was living in New York, working as a waitress. She had lost everything: her career, her reputation, her friends. She was alone and desperate. She begged for my forgiveness, for a second chance. She claimed that she had been blinded by Leopold, that she now realized the gravity of her mistake, but I couldn't forgive her. The trust was broken, the love extinguished. I couldn't go back. I wrote back, telling her that I wished her well, but that our paths were forever separate. I needed to move on, to rebuild my life, to find happiness again. It wouldn't be easy, but I owed it to myself. The rain still falls in Chicago, but it no longer carries the same weight of sadness. The memories of Willow will always be there, a part of my past, but they no longer define me. I am Osvaldo, a survivor, a man who has learned to navigate the treacherous waters of betrayal and emerge stronger on the other side.